I just wanted to get the sound of those cicadas. God damn, that was nice. Up here, elevation 7,000 feet, Costa Rican cloud forest. You can see we're in the canopy here. We got a member of Cyclanthaceae, the Panama hat family, with those unique and distinct fishtail leaves, but it's not a palm. It looks like a palm, not a palm at all. There is the fruit. Obviously going for bird dispersal. It's too dim to get really good close-ups, but you got basically a mature, the female part of that flower is maturing in the center there. It's like one of the darker red, and then the white pink, the four white pink bracts on each side of that square are the male parts. Cyclanthaceae, order Pandanales, no relation to palms, just convergent on a theme. Well, they're monocots. I guess they're distantly related to palms, right? Then we got a species of Gesneriad here. I think it's a columnea. Once again, too dark to film decently, but you can see it's fuzzy like all Gesneriads, all members of the, quote, African violet family, which again is a shitty common name. Not a violet at all. Gesneriaceae, order Lamiales. You got hummingbird pollinated, firecracker, ketchup and mustard flowers. They haven't opened yet. But distinct shape. God, it's so lovely here. It's so nice. Everything's covered in mosses and epiphytes. Got some tree ferns, got some aeroids. Ooh, I didn't see that dong hanging down there. Look at that. What is that, a philodendron, a monstera or something? That reticulate venation thing that the aeroids do. It's discordant with so much of the leaf venation of monocots, which is generally parallel venation, like corn or orchid leaves. God, I could be here for an hour. Just marinating. What a beautiful spot. Oh, this is nice to see. Must be a rich mycorrhizal diversity here, because we got monotropa going off. I forget the red monotropa in southeastern Mexico and Central America. Different from the white monotropa one might see in a northeastern woodland. You can see there's quite a few. Parasitizing fungus in the ground, distantly related to blueberries. And there's that burmeistra again. Oh, it sounds like it's actually raining. Just the water got cooled off enough that all the humidity's condensing. Is it rain or just a thick cloud? I think it's some nice photos of this. There's the seed of that monotropa. See how tiny that is? Doesn't need any endosperm, because all it needs to do is just land on fungi and then start stealing from it. But I don't think it's as simple as that. I think it's maybe the fungi tolerates. I don't know. We don't really have the best. We tend to anthropomorphize. There's a mushroom I found growing next to it. I wonder if this is mycorrhizal. I don't have Alan with me, and I'm somewhat fungi illiterate, so it's a basidiomycete, I can tell you that. Ooh, hollow stem, puffy stem. God, these are such cool. Doesn't even have genes for chlorophyll anymore. No green in the stem. Doesn't need it. Doesn't photosynthesize. Just gets all its nutrition from its mycorrhizal host. But it gives nothing in return, so far as we know. Maybe it just gives company. Maybe the fungi just wants something to hang out with. You know? Maybe that's what's going on. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Look at that. There's one. See, when they're still getting pollinated, they have the head hangs down. The flower hangs down like that. And then when they are pollinated, the fruit turns up and is erect. Probably so that the wind can come in, or something can come in and blow that dust-like seed out. There's one of those aeroids mature, and there's the berries that come off of it. Oh, it's a drupe, excuse me. It's only got one seed in it. It's a nice form to those leaves. Look at that. Bird dispersed, I presume. Bird or possibly rodent. Greetings from the cloud forest of Costa Rica, central Costa Rica, at an elevation of roughly 9,200 feet. That's 3,000 meters. We got a lot of cool stuff growing up here. You can see we got Hesperocyparus lusitanica, the Mexican mountain cypress, bunch of ferns, bunch of Chiskea, the bamboos. Interesting plants here, right? Very chilly, very wet. I mean, not super chilly. It's above freezing, but it gets, it's 75 degrees during the day, drops to almost 40 degrees at night, maybe 45 degrees Fahrenheit at night. Huge temperature swings. We're just below the Paramo. A lot of good stuff. Let's go check it out, see what we got going on. Look at that oak. That is a beautiful oak. Here at 9,200 foot elevation, 3,000 meters in central Costa Rica. This is Quercus costaricensis, or Quercus costaricensis, if you're, pronouncing it in Espanol. You can see the leaves have kind of a fuzzy indument on the underside of the leaves. They're coriaceous, and this is a massive tree. Beautiful bark on this thing, too. Probably the roots hosting a wealth of mycorrhizal diversity. Yeah, check out that bark. Got kind of like a reddish bark. Tons of interesting stuff here. You got Fuchsia paniculata, evening primrose family, Onagraceae. There's those flowers. Look like they're mainly going for hummingbirds, but probably a lot of other stuff is hitting them too. Glabrous. Glabrous leaved, 4 petals. Just diverse as hell. One of my favorite types of habitat. These higher elevation tropical, neotropical oak forests. Here we got a dominant, very common shrub. One of the dominant shrubs here of Melastomataceae. Monochaetum volcanicum. Well, let's find one with fully intact flower. There you go. With those, look at those anthers. See those sickle-shaped anthers with the connectives? Porocidal anthers. Melastome's always got the coolest flowers. You got that pink style down below. Female part of the flower that leads to the ovary. And then the fruit is this little capsule. This little erect capsule that contains many seeds inside. And then this guy up here, this is one of my favorite species in this area. This is Chimerostaphylos arbutoides, because it looks like an arbutus. It looks like a madrone. It's got a white indument, white pubescence on the underside of the leaf, glabrous up top. Most species of Chimerostaphylos are shrubs. This can turn into like a medium-sized tree. Oh yeah, very fuzzy. Very fuzzy indument on the underside. And little urceolate white, urn-shaped flowers when it's going off. And then we got a species of Aureliaceae. I don't know if that's a Schefflera or what. I would assume so. Ooh, what's the vine going up it? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh, God, what a beautiful goddamn tree. That's Quercus costaricensis. It's got bromeliads all up the shit, all up the way through the top. And then in the family Polygalaceae, we got a species of Monimia. Right there were those purple flowers, almost looking like pea flowers up close, but it's Polygalaceae. Yeah, see, there you go. There's those. God, the climate here feels like Humboldt County, California. It's crazy. There's the flowers on the Chimerostaphylos. And those leaves are such stunners. You can see that the indumentum goes from white to a russety. Russety on the new leaves. It's kind of white still, but it's got that orange color to it. All just hairs to prevent moisture loss. Because the sun's a lot more intense up here since we got 9,200 feet less of atmosphere to break up those rays of the sun than we would have at sea level. We're very high up. The UV is a lot more intense. And it's going to, so it you get a lot more moisture loss from the underside of the leaves. Also, I believe you have a dry season here, though it does get very foggy at night. Yeah, look at that. That is a beautiful plant. Holy hell. The leaves alone. And you can see it's got a gray bark. But again, this can turn into a medium-sized tree, like 30 or 40 feet tall. 10 meters, 12 meters tall. And we got another species of oak. This is Quercus copiensis. It was a synonym for Quercus bromeliads. You can see it's got much more glabrous leaves that come to an acuminate point. And it's got a different colored bark, too. I believe these can still get big as hell, though. So 2 dominant oak species, Quercus copiensis and Quercus costaricensis. It doesn't have that pubescence, so it doesn't have those tiny little hairs. Much more glabrous. Some damn species of Eupatorii, no idea which one. There's so goddamn many up here, but you can see those long styles sticking out of the flower heads. And there's the leaves. It's my guy Nacho back there. He's growing shiitakes. We got a species of epiphytic blueberry right here. There's the flowers, and then over here are the fruits, which are delicious. Lots of members of Ericaceae up here. A wealth of Ericaceae diversity. Oh my God, the taste on some of these ericaceous bastards is incredible. Those aren't ripe yet. They're ripe when they... See, there's a ripe one. That purple one. Just delicious. And right back there we got Buddleia. The genus Buddleia. The same genus as the miserably invasive butterfly bush that gets planted. You know, just horticultural garbage in the United States. But this is a native species. This species of Buddleia goes all the way up into Mexico. You can see it's got a couple different ecotypes. This one has a lot of hairs on the leaves. That's what gives it that chalky blue color. Order is Lamiales, so opposite leaves. And those hairs, of course, confer a little bit of resistance to both the intense sun and the dry season. Here is a cool one. You don't expect to see this genus in the tropics, but again, we're at 9,000 foot elevation. Viburnum costaricanum family's Vibernaceae, the elderberry family. There's the fruits right there. Orders Dipsacales, same order as Dipsacus. And there's those flowers. Tiny, white, actinomorphic, that is rarely symmetrical flowers with 5 petals. See that? Bunch of tiny white flowers. Flowers on viburnums aren't too big. There's a bunch of them all grouped together in a little panicle like that. Smells incredible. Here's an interesting one. Loranthaceae is the family, as you could probably tell by the floral structure. This is a parasitic plant. So it's a hemiparasite, so it can produce its own chlorophyll and photosynthesize, but it's going to steal from other plants as well. And you can see it's forming its own little shrub. It's tapping in to a host plant via the roots. Unlike a lot of other members of this family, probably this pine. It's probably part of the reason why this pine looks like shit. You can see it's covered in that lichen up there, but it is suffering significant dieback. And so, interesting thing about this plant too is that it produces edible fruit. So those are the flowers. And it's got this kind of chlorotic looking foliage, glabrous foliage. And then when the flowers go to fruit, you get these. And they call them manguitos, and they're edible. It's probably very slimy and edible. Oh, yeah, they're kind of sweet too. They are kind of sweet, not bad. Yeah, look at this. This is all parasitic. What's with the chlorotic look though? Wild. Parasitic shrub. This is cool. Here's a lobelia, a climbing scandent lobelia. There's the fruit, little berry for bird dispersal, and there's the flower with that purple fused anther tube. 5 petals, lobeliaceous calyx, and look, it's got these little, looks like little glands along the leaves, and it's just a serrate margin, I suppose. Glabrous as hell. Probably intolerant to fully drying out. Probably likes it. Well, I wouldn't say that. Not very drought tolerant is a better way to put it. But you could see it's just scandent, just climbing up. Where's it even going to the ground? Somewhere down there. So this is cool, and I've seen quite a few members of Ericaceae do this, the epiphytic blueberries. They form these lignotubers. This is an epiphytic member of the blueberry family, Ericaceae. You can see that rusty pallor to the new foliage, the new growth. You know, all those anthocyanin pigments. You can see where it's actually rooted in up there. It's an epiphyte, but it's made this little lignotuber for itself, so it can withstand, you know, drying out, since it's basically not growing on any soil. So it's you get a lot of fog up here. You get a lot of rain during the rainy season, which is I think from now till like October, but they're starting out to October, but still it's going to dry out up there because there's no soil. So to cope with that, it's evolved this woody lignotuber. And look at that. That's wild. I've seen this happen. I've seen this in a few places. Saw it in the Paramo in Colombia too. A lot of members of the blueberry family that are epiphytic form those woody lignotubers. Say it with me now. So now we're in a forest. We got, what is that? Oh, that's an aroid. There was a peperomia I saw yesterday that was doing that. Another aroid again. An anthurium up here at 9,200 feet elevation, 3,100 meters. A lot of good shit. A Laphoglossum ferns. Who's this? Oh, this looks rubiaceous right here. Got a bifid stigma. It's like a woody. This shit is this, man? This just fell over. This is a woody. It's a small tree. This took me a while to figure out when I first encountered it. What does this look like? Maybe Anacardiaceae. I was thinking maybe sumac family. Nope, it's in a citrus family, Rutaceae. This is Xanthoxylum melanostichum. Tiny white flowers, 5 distinct petals, 5 yellow anthers. Look at that nectar disc in the center of the flower as well. They don't really look like sumac flowers. Kind of a small tree here in the understory of this cloud forest at 9,000 feet. Ah, another ericaceous thing. Look at those gorgeous flowers and those white bracts. It certainly appears to be a Gaultheria of some sort. There's those pink urn-shaped flowers. Look at his sepals dangling off them. And you got those big white bracts protecting the flowers before they emerge. It's growing in the understory of this oak forest at 9,000 feet. 9,000 feet up in the air. Got a nice little colony of, Weinmania, Cunoniaceae. How about that? Get this nice little colony of lycopods right here. Look at the foliage scales on it. Saw a viburnum back up the way. I'll see if I can find another one. So look at this. This is a huge climbing blueberry. This is a huge climbing member of the blueberry family. There's those massive coriaceous leaves. They have the consistency of cardboard or leather. You can see it goes up, down, doesn't root into the ground over there, keeps going, goes around this Chiskea. Here's part of it too. And then finally roots into the ground over there. No doubt associating with a ton of ectomycorrhizal fungi, or butoid fungi. And God knows, man, the mushroom diversity here must be nuts during the wet season. What the shit is this? I don't even know. But those blueberries, man, they're wild. Who's this? Which Quercus? Is this costaricensis or the other one? It's pubescent on the underside. This is costaricensis, I think. Lots of oaks can have much variation in leaf shape, even on the same tree. See, we got anthurium every which way climbing up trees. And it's the dry season, so it's not as wet as it should be, as it is during the wet season. You got more epiphytic blueberries climbing scandally up these massive oaks, which there's 2 or 3 species. The diversities, I gotta come back when there's fungi out. But there's dozens upon dozens of fungal species, both, helping eat this stuff and then also associating with all the trees and the blueberries, which are all mycorrhizal, all ectomycorrhizal. It's another woody lignotuber of one of the blueberries, one of the neotropical blueberries. There's one growing right in the middle of the damn trail right there. What does it correspond to, though? Which one? What a cool evolutionary lineage of plants. Neotropical blueberries. Look at it, another woody lignotuber on another blueberry. There's where it's rooted in. And then it's just a storage tube, just a storage tuber, so it can sit out the dry season and wait for the rains again. Super glabrous. Would love to see the flowers on it so I could tell what it is. There's so much damn diversity in this family up here. That's wild, though. Another ericaceous bastard. Look at that. This is not an epiphyte. This is it's going into the ground over there. It's scandent. It's clambering over other plants in the understory of this oak forest. You can see there's the styles. Those flowers have already been pollinated where the corolla fell off. There'll be a tasty little treat in there in a month or two. And then these are still waiting to get hit, waiting to get pollinated by a hummingbird. Ericaceae, the blueberry family, does some wild shit in the tropics, especially at high elevations. Yeah, touch my woody lignotuber. Look at that. That thing is that's just a dangler. That's going to fall at some point. They must have really strong roots, too, to anchor themselves into the branches that they're growing on. You see, we've come down about, 800 feet. It's going to be hell going back up. Got a whole other species of Chiskea with much narrower leaves. And look at how those branches whirl around the whole stem. See that? Can be a diagnostic characteristic for the neotropical bamboos, of which I didn't give a shit until recently when I saw how cool they are. We got a species in Comelinaceae right here. Notable for their weird anthers. See that? Very unusual anthers. Those yellow shits. inside a 3-petaled flower. Very cool family of monocots. There's a begonia of some kind, of course not flowering. More of that bamboo. And there was some kind of fern I saw as well. Where the hell was that thing? Boy, it's real nice down here, as you can see. And I don't know what the hell this is, but whatever it is, it's in Loasaceae. It's the stinging Velcro leaf family. And that is insane. Ah, god damn it. I'll touch it again. I don't mind getting stung. Okay, that really does kind of hurt. Oh, you got some beetles feasting on it. Look at those guys. How do we know it's in Loasaceae? The flower shape and then the fruit shape right there. You can see that little antenna thing sticking out. That's the style. The petals have already fallen off. This flower's already been pollinated. This one is still being pollinated. And if we can lift it up, you could see all the stamens in there. It's a typical Loasaceae flower shape. This is going to be a really nice one. God, it's everywhere too. And it's a stinger. It's a real mean one. You gotta look at that little flower hanging down. Not little, it's the size of a baseball. I'm gonna be here for a minute. God, I am really taking one for the team here. I'm getting stung up. This is a mean plant. This is one of the meaner members of this family. Look at those anthers too, how they dehiss. They're like a navy blue and then they dehiss to white. But like many members of this family, they're thigmonastic stamens. So, you know, a pollinator will go in there, hit this thing. It's a pendant flower. I presume it's a hummingbird. I guess it could be a bat too, probably a hummer. But they'll go in there, remove nectar from the base of that flower using a proboscis or a little beak or whatever. It could be a moth too, I guess. And then once they do that, that triggers the stamens to move from the outside of the flower. You can see there's some right there, ensconced in the petals from the outside of the flower in towards the center to replenish the pollen source, to come towards the center. So that way this thing can flower for a while and it's just constantly re-upping the pollen that's available. Really interesting species though. And that flower again, it's thigmonastic. It means it moves. The stamens move upon being triggered and just constantly replenish the pollen source in the center of that flower. So enabling it to bloom longer, thus upping its chances of pollinating and getting pollinated. I just can't get over it. This is more of an Andean lineage too. So this is a biogeographical pet. Look at all the flies hanging out in there. I wonder if they're doing any pollination. Maybe not. Well, maybe. Who knows? Unlikely though, because otherwise this flower wouldn't be so big. What co-evolved with it? What's selected for those big ass flowers? Probably hummers, possibly bats. God, what a cool man. Plant life just continues to amaze me. Loasaceae, that's a great family too. It's a dope family. Let's keep going, not break our ass. See, that's kind of the spot where you'd expect to see a little black metal wizard hanging out with a little staff and a cloak and stuff, you know, just doing bong rips, smoking too much weed. God, look at that fucking Loasaceae. Here's a nightshade of some kind. How do we know it's a nightshade? Again, it's all flowers. Ooh, look at the striations at the base of those petals. You got hairy filaments, 5 anthers, 5 fused petals. There's the calyx. It's hairy as hell, which many nightshades are. They got little hairs. I wonder what that is. It's the thing. You go out, take photos, take a couple voucher specimens, go back, figure out what the shit you're looking at. It's called botanizing. Eat shit along the way. Eat some good tacos or other delicacies, local delicacies. After a long day out, it's nice. Here's what looks like a cardamom. It's a Brassicaceae, whatever it is, same family. You can see those 4 petals, recurved back. The fruit's a silique, but it's growing epiphytically on this stump. There's the leaves right there. Brassicaceae, the mustard family. Oh, here's an oxalis. Look at that. Wonder what species that is. Nice twirl of striations on the inside of that flower. And the leaves are pretty cool too. Very hairy. The temperature extremes can be, you know, summer every day, winter every night up here. Not quite as much as the Paramo, but still, you know, huge swings between day and nighttime temperatures. It was 40 degrees last night, it felt like. Well, maybe 45. It was very cold. Hairy leaves, you know, typical for oxalis, that clover-like shape. There's an odd genus of tree, Brunelia, in the family Bromeliads. It's the only genus in the family. The order is Oxalidales. You can see it's got odd pinnate leaves and panicles of tiny white flowers. And it's got a little velvety pubescence on the new growth. You can see that new branch. Very beautiful new growth. You can see, yeah, let's see if we can find another one. Saw another species of this in the Dominican Republic. That's the only other spot that I've encountered this this genus. Yeah, see, look at that new growth. Very distinct. Anyway, now we descended a little bit. We're at an elevation of only 9,000 feet. Came down out to Parma. We got anthuriums everywhere. We got gesneriads. Nice. We got weird birds flying up and down all around. Still got chuscaea. Still got bromeliads. Very wet forest there. But we're going to see a species in the genus Podocarpus, which is a genus in the Jurassic Age family of conifers, which is mostly southern hemisphere. You got a couple, look at those forests, god damn. You got a couple species in the northern hemisphere, but for the most part, they're southern hemisphere. These anthuriums are nuts. So we're going to go see Podocarpus costaricensis, which is a very rare species of podocarp, a remnant of the Jurassic. Now you can't quite see it, but right there is another species in the family Podocarpaceae, the Jurassic Age family of conifers. It's Prumnopitys standleyi. It's so wild to see these in the high elevation tropics. Prumnopitys, you got Prumnopitys andina down there in Chile. Got a number of other Prumnopitys species in Australasia. And they're all conifers. They're all podocarps. This thing is just massive, though. Prumnopitys andina doesn't get that big. Nowhere near as big as this. Listen to the living world. That's a nice sound. Look at these anthuriums. Look at that new leaf coming out. Reticulate venation instead of parallel venation like the rest of the monocots. Look at this. There's the infructescence. Looks like it's just finishing. Hey, it looked like it finished flowering a while ago. Spadix and Spath. Look at that warty bark on this Prumnopitys. You could just as easily be in a temperate rainforest in New Zealand. Similar cast of species, at least with the podocarps. But instead you're at 9,000 feet elevation in Central America. God, what's the biogeographical journey that this genus has taken throughout the world, you know? Probably a result of plate tectonics more so than long distance dispersal. And right there you got Podocarpus costaricensis. Same family as the Prumnopitys, an old ass lineage of conifer. And there's the trunk right there. Probably got 100 or 200 other species growing on it as epiphytes. Look at that. It's a nice forest. Tropical conifers. There's a couple oaks too. Who's that? Is that the Prumnopitys? Yeah, it looks like it. No, it's a podocarp, it looks like. That's the Podocarpus. God, so much life. This makes me want to kill anyone that cuts down tropical forests. What an asshole move. Why would you not want to learn to live with this and just be immersed in it every fucking day? Oh, look, it's a woody lignotuber, or one of the epiphytic ericoids. Is that what that is up there? Or is that just some shit stuck in a tree? I don't know. Oh, look. Oh, that's nice. Prumnopitys. Prumnopitys standleyi. After a guy named Stanley. Who's that? Who the shit is Stanley? He's a massive tree. Look how big that thing is. It's probably a Prumnopitys too. These massive tropical conifers. Holy shit. It's got so much shit growing on it you can't even see the leaves of the host tree. And there's that distinct Prumnopitys bark, that distinct Podocarpaceous bark here at 9,200 feet, 3,000 meters in central Costa Rica. Yeah, definitely. I want a Luigi Mangione. Anybody who's cutting these forests down. I mean, you know, Costa Rica's pretty safe, but it's happened in a lot of other countries. You know, so these people are part of the death cult. How could you see this and not value it? Guys, look at the size of this tree. It's unbelievable how big it is. God damn it, that's insane. Is this the Prumnopitys or the Podocarp? You know, it looks like the Prumnopitys. Just covered in all kinds of cool shit. Ooh, it's double trunked. You can't even see the leaves. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's the Prumnopitys. See that U-like foliage? Looks like a U. Or a taxodium, maybe. God, I can't get over how old is this fucking thing? What a beaut. You beautiful creature, you beautiful bastard. Just nothing but reverence for you, old fella. Do you hear those hummingbirds fighting like crackheads? Oh, they just stopped. It was just rampant squeaking. God, it's got to be the oldest Prumnopitys. What the hell? Holy hell, it's got a whole... It's like a whole layer of moss up there. Jesus Christ. What's the canopy of that thing look like? There you go, and there's the Podocarpus. Same family, different leaf shape. I mean, it's a big fucking tree too. Also covered in a wealth of epiphytes. Yeah, that's more like a Podocarpus. That's definitely looks a lot different than the Prumnopitys. Still a massive tree though. Huge. You got somebody living in there. Who's it living in there? Some little vole or something? Some little possum? Covered in anthurium, winemania, right there. Cunoniaceae. Got some, is that a Gualtheria up there? Yeah, back. Ericaceae. Podocarpus costaricensis. That pink sky, it's curious, huh? It's kind of nice. It's nice to be afforded an up-close glimpse at this tree fern. Look at the scales. And look at the sporangia. Look at the sori. That's what produces those haploid spores. And then the spores land, germinate, the sperm swims to an egg, and you get a new sporophyte, which is the cyathea. Whatever cyathea species this is. Holy shit, look at that Prumnopitys stanleyi. Look, looking up. You're just looking at all that stomatal wax, that white stomatal wax. It's like looking up at a coast redwood. God, that's gorgeous. Holy shit. I didn't know this was gonna be here. That's a massive, grandiose bastard too. These fucking trees are huge, man. And how long can they live for? Yeah, look at that white wax, white stomatal wax. Don't you love when some tropical conifers do that? You see it on a lot of the podocarps. Look at this bumblebee buzz pollinating this solanum. He knows what he's doing. You gotta vibrate your wings and get that pollen to dump out of those poricidal anthers. Now this is a member of Asteraceae. It's a vine, and this is the genus Jungia. Is it after Carl Jung? Who's it named after? I don't know. Jungia? You could want to be especially obnoxious, you could pronounce it Jungia. It smells incredible. These flowers smell absolutely stunning. You can see the styles that are forked back, recurved back in a little loop-de-loop, those are in the female phase, and the styles that are just little rods are in a male phase. Multi-seriate phyllaries. And it, you can see it's going about 40 feet up that tree over there. You can see it's then that tree is a species of clethra. You get a couple clethra in the American Southeast as well. Order is Ericales. Tiny white flowers. There you go. There's that clethra species. See that? Oh, it's already in fruit right there. You got a couple flowers left up there. Large tree. Those little white bell-shaped flowers. Almost looks like a madrone. Now this is a cool one. This is in its own family. This is Simplocos. And we got a relative of this in the southeastern United States, like in Louisiana. That's where I've seen it before, known as horse sugar. This is a Simplocos species. I don't know which one. There's like 5 endemic to this mountain range. Have fun with that. Ericales is the order. Same order as blueberries. Nice looking flowers. You can see it's like a small to medium sized tree here. Really unique flower structure though. Ericales. Here's an interesting one. This is a Gondwanan relic, the genus Drymus, Winteraceae, one of the basal angiosperm families. Bright white, waxy, undersized to the leaves, glabrous as hell. Apocarpus fruits. You can see those, all those carpels come off the same flower. And it's got, like many members of Winteraceae, it's got you crack a leaf open, it smells kind of peppery inside. Seen Drymus down in southern Chile as well. Centropogon palamoncensis, lobelioid, a vining lobelioid going for hummer pollination. There's a purple fused anther tube sticking out the flower as well. Now this is interesting. Here's a fuzzy climbing hydrangea. You got opposite leaves, a russety pubescence on everything. It got cold last night. It got down to like 40 degrees. Now it feels like 75 already. It's probably gonna be 80 today. So huge temperature swings. Again, due to that thin atmosphere. There's the inflorescence. You can see you get those little bracts too. Not as showy as some of the horticultural atrocity hydrangeas, but still. And again, those opposite leaves. It's a climbing, vining hydrangea. What is the tree it's climbing up? I can't even tell. What's he so upset about? What are you so upset about? I got a right to be here. What are you pissed off about? You got a virtual buffet. You got the Bomaria, you got the Centropogon, you got food everywhere. You got nothing to worry about. Massive Bomaria. Alstromeriaceae is the family. Look at all that brown pollen. Ready to come. Oh, you got a triphid stigma as well. Look at all that pollen dehissing. Obviously hummer pollinated. This is a big Bomaria. Larger than the ones we've seen. There's a Centropogon. And of course we got the native blackberry as well, which is hanging out to me right now. Not letting go. God, it's delicious. Pink flowers on that thing. See? The native rubus. God, that's delicious. Get that beautiful green luster to those leaves, to a high elevation Costa Rican cloud forest blackberry. It's our old friend Gunnera insignis. This is a small one. It's only about 6 feet wide. There's the flower spike. There's literally, I don't know, probably 10,000 flowers on there. And plants are gynomonoecious. So you can see there's a withered anther. All those red things are mostly ovaries, but there's a withered anther on a few of them. They're old flowers, but you can see there were at one point some anthers on there. So there were some male flowers as well. Such a weird plant. And again, doing a whole, nitrogen fixation with the help of cyanobacteria in those stems. A blue-green algae, blue-green algae is just a term for photosynthetic bacteria, but there's a massive flower spike. Those big peltate leaves, so coriaceous, they can be upwards of 4 or 5 feet across. Poor man's umbrella. There's a climbing hydrangea in full flower. Look at that. A vining climbing hydrangea with those big-ass bracts sticking out of the whole panicle. So you get closer. Pubescent leaves, opposite leaves, climbing up a tree in the cloud forest. Climbing up a tree fern. Holy hell, I didn't realize that's a cyathea. Climbing up a tree fern. Climbing hydrangea. You got epiphytic blueberry fruits falling from way up in a canopy. And there's those seeds. Tiny seeds in there. This fastigiate tree right here is in the Prumnopitys. It's Parathesis glabra. You can see it's in fruit right now. It already flowered. Glabrous leaves, dense panicles. Everything's covered in oostia, different kinds of lichen, algae, epiphytes. Anyway, and this right here is in the avocado family. And it's actually Lauraceae, and you can see those flowers. You can't really see it now, but they got the structure of avocado flowers. Some even have the ovaries already maturing, looking like mini avocados. This is the favorite food of the quetzal, which is a really famous bird here. You know, it really draws a lot of the birdners in. It's a showy fucking bird too. But there's the flowers. So Lauraceae, the bay leaf and avocado family, and they got those valvate anthers. If you were to look in them, the anthers dehiss by little valves that open, little hinged valves. The hell they eat? What are they doing? What are these guys doing? Are they fighting with each other? I don't know what the hell's going on over there. Oh, they're digging. They've been at it all day. Anyway, Persea is the genus right there, the genus of avocado. Favorite food of the quetzal, showy bird from these beautiful and epic cloud forests at 9,000 feet elevation. I just pulled over on the side of the road all sketchy like. Here's a really interesting one, Cercium. Cercium subcordatum. Look at that massive head, just the relative artichokes in the sunflower family. There's those massive florets you could see with the styles poking out. The whole thing covered in velvet and, of course, the spiny tips. What a goddamn impressive species, man. 8,600 foot elevation here. And what would any neotropical area be in Mexico or Central America without a species of Cerauia? The Americas' only native member of the kiwi family, Actinidiaceae, but these are trees and they do make delicious fruits. There's a close-up of the flowers right there. We got Dahlia imperialis right there, some centropogons. There's those flowers. See, 5 petals, many stamens, pubescence on everything, and large leaves. Large leaves with about 1 inch or 2 inch long petiole. Small to medium trees, Cerauia.